And we're live. Welcome to the Gordox Pub, where we refresh the creative spirit or succumb to the evils of technology. What do you think the over-under is on your microphone tonight?
What's that?
Well, it's how we suspect StreamYard of about 2 hours in, your microphone will go, and then it will be amazing.
Well, I did make a comment to them, a complaint.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything that I know of, but before I came on here tonight, I had to reset the mic anyway.
Yeah.
And I checked some stuff on the mic, and the setting on it was like only 80% of the volume anyway. But I found it interesting because I can change the color of it. But the thing that I downloaded really, I was hoping to be able to modulate my voice some.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of the bass that's missing in it. Not that I have a whole lot of bass in my voice, but it's gotten higher since I was in a coma. And I think that has something to do with, the whole blood pressure thing. Anyway.
Well, first off, thank you for subscribing to my channel, showing your support for the educational world.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
So I think last time we talked, or one of the times, like recently, I said I was going to have to learn 𝕄𝔸𝕊𝕋𝕀𝔽𝔽 better. So I've been fumbling along, but I think in 2 weeks I made 54 videos there on YouTube right now. And I've been learning quite a bit. In fact, I learned something today I didn't even know I could do. I was so excited. I was excited when I discovered the auto caption feature that 𝕄𝔸𝕊𝕋𝕀𝔽𝔽 has. Because, I either had to spend a whole bunch of time trying to figure out how to sync up text boxes or whatever, and I had started to just kind of skip that part. I was like, I'll put up the definition because that's what it's for. I don't really care about the lyrics. They're good for students to listen to, but I don't need the brief. It wasn't the main focus for me, and it wasn't worth the time. But man, once I found the AI auto caption thing, I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. It wasn't perfect, but it was close. And I was like, yeah, good enough for me. I'm happy. Saved me a bunch of time. And then today I discovered I can edit the captions that the AI makes. I was like, oh, I can. I don't know how much I can do. There was a video, it stopped putting captions on it. I don't know why. It was like, So I don't know if I can add stuff in, but I can at least change what's there. So I was excited. And I also find it fascinating to watch the progression of technical skill as I go through and do the videos. It's just a fun learning process. It disheartens me at times when I look at, I started making text-to-speech videos for the short reading assignments that I give, the daily ones. And my first one was on Friday that I created for it. And I only had like 13 people look at it. It's like, ugh. That's kind of a bunch of effort that no one took advantage of, but at least I can say I tried and I learned how to do it, so it wasn't a waste on me.
Well, yeah.
Well, I realized today that, like health nuts that know we should be eating better and exercising more and all this stuff, and nobody ever does it. And how frustrating that must be. And I realized, oh, hey, that's the same thing, because there are all these things I can provide students with, but they won't. They don't want to. They don't care. It's like, and that's not something wrong with them. Like, I'm not complaining about them. I'm simply saying our system is designed so that they jump for the grade, and then we've watered down everything so that really, what does the grade matter? So this chapter that I'm working on my novel, I kind of think I could turn it into a short story. And then, as I was mulling that over, I was like, you know what? That's not going to work. Like, the way I want it, I don't think will be a good fit for writers of the future, right? And so I thought to myself for a moment, maybe I shouldn't do it. Like, just write the chapter, call it good, move on, get work on the novel. Because if I can't send it in to writers of the future, is it really worth doing? Which is a stupid idea. Like that, especially because Bean, whatever it is, has their fantasy story competition open right now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, and I think it would fit them just fine. So,
and
yeah,
there's a whole bunch of fantasy magazines and mise-ens and anthologies.
Right. I should stop, like you said, and I've tried to listen to you, but that whole I got to write for writers of the future, and that's cool and all, but you just got to write and send it out. And
yeah,
I'm sure
right.
writers of the future is a market, and it's a smart one to kind of think about, I think, but it's not the only game in town.
No, and even if you publish there, you cannot do it one further, unless they choose a finalist, and then you can win after that. But and
Yeah.
the actual payment, if you look at it, is less than pro for depending on the word count.
Right.
So, I mean, really, the real big thing is that you want to be pro. I mean, it would be nice. It's a prestige thing to win Writers of the Future, but the thing is that it's not so much prestige anymore, right?
I've started noticing that about a lot of competitions. Okay. Okay, that was early. Your mic is all kinds of stuff. Sounds kind of like a toilet. Oh, that was Charlie Brown's teacher.
That's when I was 27, 17. And young mother.
Melody, you sound incredibly distorted.
That's really weird. Still seeing something?
It's time for students. Oh my god, now you're just gone. Oh, there you go. No idea what you're saying. Just none. I'm sorry. Put it back on the good screen.
So I turn the music down. What's that? Is that better?
Oh, yeah, I hear you fine.
That's just frustrating.
Okay, I'm about to yell at my wife, so I'm going to mute myself real fast. She's not in trouble or anything. It's just I'm not going to get off screen, and she's on the other floor. So, just in case anyone wants to know, I'm not like yelling at my wife. I'm yelling to my wife.
Sure.
I sent her a message on Facebook to see if there was something that one of her coworkers was having a problem with on a Zoom call or something. I don't know. And she was telling me that you should check it out, and then I forgot what it was. So I'm messaging her to find out. And there's the message. All right, this is what she's saying. This is what helped her coworker. That the ambient room audio has to be turned off.
The ambient room audio.
Yep.
Not quite sure what that is. They don't. That's not an option for me. So. That's why we turn the music down to see if that has any effect on it.
Let's see.
And it apparently has a couple of times. So.
That's the problem with live streaming. It's too hard. Hey, I had a question for you. I think I do. Yeah. So I saw something earlier today. It's called Nexus. You heard about it?
I have heard Nexus. Not sure much more than that. Why?
Because what it does is it, from what I understand, because I was like, it'll take long videos and then it'll edit them down into like smaller clips. And I think you can automatically set it to upload it on its own. What I'm doing on my channel, I don't need that in any way, shape, or form. I can't fathom what I would use that for, because I don't have anything long. But if I can make sure that if I get it, I can upload stuff on your channel. Would you want me to do that?
Upload stuff? Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah, to basically take these longer live streams and then it's supposed to like basically find highlights for you and then make smaller videos so you can post those.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find something that works, like I said, the biggest problem is like if we speed stuff up, it's just going to look like you're a little guy in an animated square moving really fast.
No, that's not what it does. It doesn't make it's not going to do it. Well, it might. I don't know. I haven't played it that much. But from what I understand, it doesn't do that. It basically essentially virtually watches the video and then edits out highlights, so clips that you can then post, so that all the the space where nobody's talking and all that, it'd probably skip that stuff, but it's going to show like the end of it. It's going to show like whatever discussions we have, so that you have smaller things that it can basically find. Think of it this way: have you ever seen like one of the longer podcasts from like know, like all the talking heads have them, like Dave Rubin and the late night talk shows that a lot of times will do them. They just, and then they'll have like these longer shows. Like Joe Rogan does it. He has these big long shows.
Yeah, little clips.
Right. And then they
I
make
know what
clips.
clips are.
Right. But I'm saying the AI does that basically for you. So that's the kind of thing that you would be getting, not necessarily time lapse.
Anything that you feel that'll make the show better.
I'm not saying it's going to make the show better. I might make your channel grow. That's two different things.
Yeah,
I am not trying to say I can improve quality.
Well, I think that probably would, though. I mean, that improve viewership or whatever.
All right. I'll look into it a little bit closer when I saw it. And if I understand it correctly, I was like, oh, it was like if you buy it for a year, it's like $60. And I was like, oh, that's like, I don't even have to ask my wife for that kind of purchase. I can just buy that. So then I was
I had an order for supplies that came to $60, and I had to do away with 2/3 of it.
read a thing today that said supposedly there's going to soon be clinical trials. I think it was clinical trials. I guess human trials. So those would be clinical. Yeah. Of a drug that will regrow teeth.
Huh.
And I'm thinking, how does a drug know where to put the teeth? I'm just thinking of all the ways that could go wrong. Of course, maybe it's topically applied or something. I have no idea. You know, I'm flabbergasted.
It's
But,
probably injected.
which sounds terrible too, but
Well, I mean, right now, like dentures, there are a lot of people that are getting dentures that are actually screwed into your jaw.
yeah, the implants. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, does it sound any worse than that?
No, that sounds terrible. Like, please knock me out for a few days. Terrible.
Right. So they probably would, if they're doing injections, they probably would do no different than like doing a extraction, and that's the same. Like they would probably numb it and then do the injections.
What browser are you running?
Um, at the moment,
Yeah.
well, I'm running two, so like I'm running one at the moment, and that's Brave.
if you go under audio, if you go under settings and click on audio, what boxes do you have?
What?
So on StreamYard, down at the bottom where you have like mute, stop cam, then you have settings.
Okay.
Click on settings, then click on audio. What boxes do you have checked?
All of them.
Ah. See, I cannot check at least one of them. That's the background noise, which I have a feeling is the same basic thing as your ambient noise. I do have echo cancellation turned on. I don't know how well it
So
works.
I don't have stereo audio clicked on,
Okay, I don't have that on either.
but I have automatically adjust mic volume, reduce mic background noise, and echo cancellation.
Okay, the only one of those I have turned on is echo cancellation. I don't know if that matters.
Well, last time that's what fixed it is because I put on those check marks.
All right.
I'm just saying I took them off before, and
You
I
put it
guess
back on.
no, I took them off, and then everything went crappy, so I put them back on.
There you go.
Now I gotta fix the camera again.
Sorry.
So, what I haven't done and what I can do is see if it makes a difference if I use Opera, because that was the other browser I was using. And I used Opera for a long time, so it might actually, like when you asked what browser I'm using, I started thinking, and I didn't really have any problems on Opera with it, but I switched because this browser is a protected browser. It's a secure browser, so it doesn't automatically give me the crap that Google gives me when I do a search. It gives me the choice if I. It's really weird. It gives me the choice if I want Republican results, Democratic results, or just news results. So, I mean, I was interested in it because Joe Rogan was talking about it, that it was like a former CIA guy that created this, I think. And it was made so that you're not going to have all the spy bots and spyware and all that shit, that trackers and stuff that's built into Google.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll grab that. I have had some issues. Like if I want a reference picture, I can't go to the Brave browser to get it, because that's not happening. Well, it gives you like a results page like you'd get on Google, but the thing is that on Google, if you click on an image, it gives you a lot more related images underneath of it. This one doesn't. It gives you just that one image. I like pauldrons. I like
Yeah.
this guy's. I like this guy's costume design.
Okay.
He's kind of fun to draw. That's why when you were like, "Oh, enter this guy," like I only needed an excuse to have him enter because I like to draw. I like to draw the costume.
That's always good. So part of my exploration of AI with music has led me to a site called pseudo.com because they give you like essentially 5 songs a day for free. It's technically 10, but it, it gives you 2 versions of every prompt that you give it. So you get 5 shots a day for free. And that's enough for me, I suppose. But I started because you can, like, they have a public forums type thing. Like, if you go to their site, you can listen to stuff from people all over the world if you want. And so I started getting good at like just looking at some of the some of the songs that they have, and if I like the way it sounds, stealing their description and using it on my own stuff. And it's taught me quite a bit about genres I had never heard of before. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And so now I'm having like I'm going on Spotify and I'm looking up genres of music I would have never known to look up. And some of it, I mean, it's just kind of fun, but it's kind of neat the stuff you learn the more you start getting into some of the different little niches, basically. My biggest problem is I always think, oh, I could just do a quick video, and I don't think I can do it on even a super fast one. I don't think I can get it done in under 15 minutes. It's probably more like 30. When I first started, it was like, oh, this took me all day. Of course, my sons make fun of the video quality. This looks like AI made it. I'm like, it's because AI made it, kid. I'm not trying to hide those things.
Not trying to be a rock star.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it just came down to seeing if I can do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like now that I have a purpose, a direct purpose that I can see, uh, with quick turnaround and feedback, really, uh, it forced me to learn Clipchamp, and I've been wanting to learn Clipchamp for a while. Now there is some stuff I still want to know, but it's one of those things where I figure I can learn the basics on my own, so I'm not completely just out of my element. And then, like you were talking earlier about, basically a time lapse video. I want to learn. I can do that on Clipchamp. I'm positive. I don't know how to yet.
Yeah, I did some stuff with Clipchamp, and it just really took a whole lot of my space up, and I don't know what I did wrong, but it wasted all kinds of space. I tried to do um, videos with just music behind it instead of words, and it just I don't know. Did not work out well for me. Long story short.
My son better not have gotten me ill, because that's just not. He's been out for days. Like, he was moving around better today. Yesterday, well, yesterday he had a fever of 102. And this is after being on antibiotics and taking like every 2 hours ibuprofen, then every 2 hours, and then every other. So every other hour he was taking either ibuprofen or Tylenol, trying to fight this fever. And the last we had taken him to urgent care earlier in the week, and they're like, yeah, so he's been treated for flu and pneumonia. And that would have been Wednesday, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. All the days blur together. But Friday, I went into work on Friday, and my wife was like, if I can't get this fever down, I got to take him to the ER. And I was like, all right, well, that's why you have a car, and I don't. I'm fine. Just drop me off. And I was like, but if you go to the ER, you need to call the school and come get me. Like, I don't, like, if it's getting that bad, I want to be there. So I went into the office in the morning, and I told the secretary, I was like, she's the one that has to handle all the absences and stuff. I was like, I'm just letting you know, like, putting you on notice, basically. My wife might call. So Thaddeus is really sick, and if he ends up kicking fever down, got to take the ER. And the secretary is like, no, just go home. Like, it is easier to get a sub. It's easier to deal with if you just go. So if you've got the days, go home. And I hate that. I hate that more than about it. I don't know why. Like, I've got sick days out the wazoo. And it's because I hoarded them for years and years and years. And I don't like being absent. Like, it's just, ultimately, it makes your job harder, I think. But at the same time, I'm like, well, that's cool and all. I'd like to be with my son, too. So, family first, I suppose. But I still feel guilty because I was raised in the Midwest, and that's how we do it. Guilt. My niece was in the hospital last week, or at the urgent care. She's in Oklahoma, so it's not like I'm really up to date on it. But her mom had posted they were waiting, and they were learning about the Kentucky meat shower of 18 something. So I looked it up, and I was like, well, that looks like something fun and interesting to read about. So I made that into a reading assignment for my students. Like I typed up a little essay because I like to have them reading something every day. And some of them have IEPs that say things are supposed to be read to them if possible, and a lot of the stuff they have text to speech now, so it doesn't really matter. They can handle it on their own. But I was like, well, I wonder if I could just figure out a way to make a text like a spoken word thing. And so yeah, I started making the reading assignments with audios. So I was watching John Green of, well, he's famous for a couple things, I guess, but the author John Green, who lives in Indianapolis, by the way, not from Indianapolis, but he lives there. And he was asking on his YouTube channel if audiobooks counted as reading. And he said yes, basically. But I would argue that it's not. And I come to that conclusion after watching his video. And it is not because I have some hierarchy of art forms.
Oh yeah, you're a reading snob.
Nope. Because here's why. Because John Green made a really good argument that there are nuances and stuff that you get out of reading that aren't there when you listen to it, but there are nuances that are there when you're listening that aren't there when you're reading it. And that to me, because he was basically saying that they equal out, right? But that to me says that, well, no, but that means it's different. So it's not the same thing. They may be equal. I'd say they're both about interpretation. And yeah, I don't. Once I can get over the fact that it's not the same thing as reading, but it is a form of interpretation, and it's just a different form of interpretation, and it's really close. And everything else that he was saying about audiobooks, he's like, when I'm doing dishes, I can't read a book, but I can listen to one. And I'm like, yeah, that's very true. Like, that's 100% accurate. Why not? Like, do I think that students should be able to, should still learn to read? Yes. But I also recognize that more and more things are becoming audiobooks and audio text and, text to speech and all kinds of stuff. It's not good if you don't know how to read, but, you don't have to be able to read as much as what you used to have to be able to read if you have the technology with you. somewhere
Yeah.
along the line, I just make myself another follower or a subscriber or whatever. That's fantastic. I was actually going. I got an email from a parent, and because I had sent an email home that the child was missing some assignments, and she said, "Can she do it from home?" And I have videos on, how to find your missing work and how to access it, all that kind of good stuff. So that was the original reason why I made the YouTube channel, was so I could do I could show parents where you go, or show other teachers how to set up the stuff. But there's only so many things I know about Moodle. So I'm like, man. But, this stuff. Short. Kind of has a Tron vibe for me going on. It's not a bad thing, by the way. That's not a criticism. That's just an observation. And because I like Tron, I don't really care. But it's got elements from Tron, or it's got elements that remind me of Tron that I like. See, last time it started getting real, like I could hear that scratching, and then it got louder and louder. Like now, like it's like a minute ago, I could hear that scratching real loud. So I don't know if it's just coincidence from last time, or if it's just picking up more. Like if your microphone's getting more sensitive somehow. I don't know.
Well, it's automatic, so
Yeah, I wonder if that's. I don't know.
but it's it shouldn't all of a sudden be doing the crap that it's doing, you know.
I agree. I have no idea what's going on. And if anyone watches this video and would like to leave a comment as to what Rich might try, we would appreciate it.
I hope that there's not a whole bunch of derogatory comments that come out of that suggestion.
Well, Rich, you could just let it up in a tiny little ball. That's not the kind of comment we were looking for.
Yeah, and that's not even what I was thinking.
No.
No. See you. No big deal. Stop smoking dirts. Don't go.
Go. Okay, I'm gonna have to take my mid-stream stroll a little late, but uh, I can't. I can't wait any longer, Captain. Anyway, I will be right back after I see a man about a horse. And I have returned.
That was very loud.
Oh, sorry. Was it very loud because it was like very quiet and then I said something?
No, that's pretty loud.
It was just loud. Sorry.
Yep. Heard some traffic first, and then it was very loud.
Traffic. I can't even hear any traffic.
Well, it's not the first time.
But it's also, I have earbuds in, so I'm hearing it process through, but the microphone is separate. So oh. Well, hello, Digital Tantrum. What is up with you?
Long time no see.
Oh, you're dodging California fires?
Good thing you're safe.
That is good that you're safe.
Good to hear.
Well, we're currently safe.
Yeah, the fire would have to spread a hell of a lot to get to Maine.
Yeah, it would.
Thank you, thank you. Already done what, 2-3 pages now since then? I don't know when the last time you watched was, but we did a big double page spread and then we did this is the third page after that, right?
I think. Digital Tantrum said it's been a couple of months.
Yeah, I knew it had been a while. And since we only do 3 streams a week, that it's not as many streams as it is days. I've actually got to find a reference for this guy because I made a. I really just need to scan these pages in so that I can pull them up when I need a reference. That would be a lot easier. Well, because the last time I drew this guy as close up as to be able to get the detail on his pauldrons and the way that I set his pauldrons, it was the double page spread. So and as you know, when I'm finished with these pages, they go into a folder to keep them safe. So So I will fine tune this stuff
Yeah.
after. Throw some texture into his armor.
Ugh. Goodness. Sounds getting late. Oh my goodness, it's only 10:16. I should not be that tired.
Well, that panel went quicker than I thought it was gonna.
Yeah?
Digital Tantrum might see that. I apologize.
Classroom is the classroom, man. As for the video app figured out, well, yeah, I suppose, kind of. I've been working on OBS. I've got a couple videos up. I've used with that. 𝕄𝔸𝕊𝕋𝕀𝔽𝔽 I've used now. Um, so I've got a channel, the 𝕄𝔸𝕊𝔽𝔽. It's got about, it's getting close to 60 videos on it now. Yeah, 𝕄𝔸𝕊𝔝 is, I mean, it came with my computer. It's free. There's an upgrade feature. I have yet to figure out why I would need it, but that's just me. Maybe it's because I don't know enough and nobody's showing me, but, you know, it is what it is. Sorry, Rich. Anyway, so I started making, originally I was making videos to show parents and teachers how to use Moodle, which is a learning management system, and then I got the idea of making videos, like music videos, lyric videos for the vocabulary, and then, you know, because if you learn a song, you will not forget that word. So I've been making educational videos with it using AI. Otherwise, there's no way I could get as many done as fast as I did. But I'm pretty upfront about it. I would never claim to be a rock star. That's why actually on the videos I put directed by me versus written by me or crap. Even though I normally do the writing. Yeah. I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night? There you go. By the way, Rich, I don't know if you know this, but you're on mute. So if you're talking, nobody knows.
Mike.
Okay, I don't know what you said, but okay. I heard Mike.
I said it said my browser lost connection to my mic.
Ah.
I thought you were going to tell me I was off screen.
Nope. Although your camera had readjusted, but
Nope, I was off screen. It zoomed out when I touched my mouse to take off the mute.
what kind of mask does Robin wear? Is that a domino mask? Is that what that's called? Or what kind of mask do the turtles wear?
Dumb.
Cloth. Thank you, Digital Tantrum.
Robin's mask is like plastered on these days.
Yeah, it's glued. Like suction cups on. You must have metal implants and magnets. Spirit cup.
Yeah, probably.
I was trying to think of an image or a theme, I guess. I don't know, a visual theme for one of the upcoming words I have is the word judicial, and so I was trying to turn the U.S. Supreme Court into a superhero team, but the AI doesn't quite like that. So I have to play around and get a little creative with not saying the U.S. Supreme Court, but saying the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's left-wing AI.
Dude, some of the stuff that it spits out is like I got to be careful on some of it. Oh God! Like what? Oh, there have been a couple of images where I was just like, yeah, we're not using that because that looks terrible. It just looks just wrong. Like the kind of thing you don't show kids. I mean, it's not porn, but it's like really suggestive if you have the right frame of mind. And I'm dealing with middle school kids. They all have the right frame of mind or the wrong frame of mind, however you want to put it. Well, they don't all have. Yeah, they don't all have that, but someone in the group does. I told Thaddeus, I was showing him stuff. I was like, because remember we had the idea for Bonar, and
Right.
And so I might have like he may rise again because
That's a pun.
did not mean it that way. Uh,
Sonar may rise again.
but
You know,
I was
married life.
I was showing Thaddeus like I asked this thing called Sora, and I just asked for um, a white marble statue fracturing with a bright light shining inside. That's what I asked for. And one of the things it spat out is just nightmare fuel. And I thought, oh, that would be fun. Kind of a, just like the rule has to be it's got to be an AI produced image or short that the prompt is completely innocent. Like I'm not trying to create nightmare fuel. But whenever it does, like I'm trying to compile a bunch of these, and I told him I was like, yeah, we'll make a video of these short nightmare fuel videos, and he can just make fun of them. So that might be kind of fun to do. But let me see if I can present this glorious image, because it's just terrifying. Well, it's not terrifying. It's just creepy. Here we go. Let's see if it works.
No, sir.
There it is. Look at that thing.
Hold on.
Look at it.
That's weird. If you go up underneath the chin, it looks like a belly button.
I know. It's like you know how women always say, "Hey, my eyes are up here." Well, this is like the perfect woman.
No.
It's terrifying.
Perfect woman would be all like, "Why are you looking at my eyes?"
My wife still doesn't understand when she comes home and puts on her pajamas. If I'm in the room, I'm staring. And she's like, yeah, I know, boo. I'm like, no, apparently you don't understand. So, like, you can say you understand, but you don't understand. He wasn't coming in to tell you it's almost time, was he? Because
No, he was coming in to
Okay.
tell me he loved me more.
Okay. Well, I can't always 100% pick up.
Which is DUI for argue with me.
He just wants, some attention. That's all.
And generally, the rule is if he comes looking for attention, he gets it.
Yeah.
But earlier tonight, there was a lot of stuff that happened that wasn't so nice.
That's never fun.
What do you want?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Go on, put one down. Okay, put it sit now. Put it sit now. Oh, see, put it sit. No.
Yes, I know what time it is.
Wait a minute. Let me wait. Hold on.
It's like 10:36.
That's what he just said. It's 10:36.
That's fine.
And I'm like, yeah, it's 10:36.
Did I tell you about the glorified chew toy my wife got me?
Your wife got you a glorified chew toy?
Yep. I told her how a lot of times I eat for, like, I'll just graze because I'm bored and so she got me a pipe.
Oh yeah.
And I just basically, it's a complete affectation. I don't smoke, but
I hope not. You're asthmatic, right?
oh yeah, I'm very asthmatic. I'm not smoking. But I started noticing I drink less pop and all this stuff because I'm just occupying the space. I'm feeding the oral. It's basically, she looked at an ad for Fume, which is ungodly expensive for what it is, and said, well, here's the cheap version. I don't know if have you ever seen the things for Fume, F-U-M?
No.
Oh my God, they're like little vape pens, except for they're completely not electronic at all, or electric. It's just, you put a flavored tube in it and just suck air through it. That's all you're doing. And it's like $99.
Why would anyone want to do that?
Well, same basic thing as what I'm doing is occupying your hand, occupying your mouth.
When I quit
Yeah.
smoking,
Yeah.
I kept a cigarette, but no lighters.
Ugh.
And I traded that cigarette out after a while for another one, but because you get the filter soaked after a while, but
Right.
it was just the hand to mouth motion that I was trying to keep it for,
Oh, 100%. I
So
understand.
so I do have, actually, I got a church warden.
Yeah.
Do you know what a church warden is?
Well, I think.
It's what you would think of as like Gandalf's pipe. It's a big, long stem pipe that curves.
Oh. Okay, I know what that is, but that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, I got a church warden after, but I quit smoking by using basically a placebo cigarette.
Well, I don't smoke.
And I switched it out, I think, 3 times. Yeah, well, I smoked like 2 packs a day. And when I quit, I just quit,
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to quit smoking, but it has a lot to do with you having to be ready for it. You're fortunate not enough to not have to worry about all that stuff, but like after that, my church warden helped me the same way you're talking about, which is why it was relevant to the conversation.
Well, it made perfect sense to me. I completely. I'm not fighting smoking addiction, but I mean it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. but it's similar. I can see that with.
It's the same thing. It's not the same thing. Well,
It's not the
we
same
we
thing.
know it's a habit, is what it is, right?
Yeah, and I would. The reason why I brought it up is I saw myself doing it on stream, and I was like, oh crap. And then I was like, I don't care. I'm not smoking. But you see me with my pipe. That's what it is. It is.
Placebo.
Yeah, I mean, not in it.
Cute toy is what you said. Same
Yeah,
thing. Same idea.
it's what I've been using. Like when I write, I'll sit there and just it's in the corner of my mouth, and don't know why.
Now, see, that's the thing that I did with cigarettes. Really, is like they were space fillers. Like if I needed to sit back and think for a minute, or step back and look at a picture,
Yes.
or any of that stuff, it gave me a minute of focusing, like slightly focusing elsewhere. Not really focusing elsewhere, but enough to not be focusing as intently.
Hey, Digital Tantrum said that he smoked for almost 26 years, but he hasn't had one in over 13.
Well, I smoked for, yeah, a long time, a long, long time.
Well,
I'm gonna say, probably right around there. And
Oh.
I quit cold turkey. I got one day I felt like I had pneumonia. I had a hard time breathing, and
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you've never smoked, but anyone that smokes knows when they've had a day that they've smoked too much. Like they breathe in and it kind of feels a little achy, weird, kind of achy.
Well, that's
And I
good.
had one of those days, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I gave away my lighter, and I kept, like I said, I kept on. I gave my pack of cigarettes to my wife and my lighter, and I had one cigarette that I would carry around with me, and then I think I actually went through three. Like my saliva soaked through the filters on two of them, and then the third one I was done with before that happened, and then I never went back.
So
And
Digital Tantrum, go ahead.
as it turns out, I had heart failure, and that was what I was having a hard time breathing for, is that I had heart failure. And like when my wife came to pick me up from the hospital, I told myself if she shows up with a pack of cigarettes, I'm going to end up going back to smoking cigarettes. But she showed up with a pack of gum.
Good.
So,
Digital Tantrum said that he went cold turkey as well, and he never wanted to have his kids see him smoke. And they started to get old enough to notice, and that's the last cigarette he ever had.
Well, I wish I could say that. My kids knew I smoked, and I really wasn't very thoughtful about it. I read to my kids every night, but I'd smoke while I was reading, and I didn't think anything of it because that's the way I had been raised.
Yeah.
But then after a while, I did start thinking, I'm like, this isn't right. I wish it would have happened a lot faster than it did, but it happens. I'm just glad it did happen, because I don't know if I would have been, if I would have been able to quit without that, that really shitty feeling. that turned out to be heart failure. Not saying heart failure is good, because it's not, but I'm actually really lucky that I didn't get like emphysema and all that crap. Uh, my aunt got
Right.
COPD, and she had everything kind of hardened on her and really kind of slowly suffocated to death, which, I wouldn't wish upon anybody, really, but least of all her. Well, I guess least of all me, but pretty close to least of all her. She was, I called her Aunt Mom because basically I spent much of my childhood over her house with my cousins because I was an only child. So went to see uh, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Ghostbusters, all that stuff with them. She fostered a love of fantasy. Like The Last Unicorn and Frankfurt at its Fire and Ice and The Hobbit, the cartoon version of The Hobbit.
Yeah, I stumbled across the cartoon version of The Hobbit on television one day. Didn't even know it existed. Like, there are some things. Like, I had a hard. Like, I can remember. I read a lot of Greek mythology because I didn't know how to ask at the library for fantasy books. Like, I just didn't know I didn't know what the genre was called. I didn't know how to describe what it is I wanted to read. And
You probably
and
didn't
part of
know
me,
what a genre was. Like when
well,
I
that's what
was
I mean.
young,
Like, I was like trying to describe that I wanted to read something like fairy tales, but I did not want to read fairy tales. And the librarian was kind enough to guess mythology. So whatever, I got some books on mythology. They were close. It was entertaining. It was good stuff to read. But it took me a little bit, and then I finally figured it out. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just amazed. Like, we had the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings books at my house. Um, but they were on a bookshelf I generally didn't look on. Um, it's kind of funny that my parents just didn't catch on that I was interested. Even though I liked like He-Man. Like, He-Man is. I realize there are some fantasy or some sci-fi elements to it, but I mean, come on, it's fantasy, and yeah, just they never made the connection, or it took them a long time to make the connection. I always find it weird when people respond to the Lord of the Rings films the way I responded to Star Wars films. Like, the Lord of the Rings films, just I mean, they're visually stunning, but I just never really got into them the way I got into Star Wars. I I like I mean, I like the world building that Tolkien did. I've always enjoyed that. Um, that was probably one of the first. The Hobbit was one of the first books I was like, yes, I want to live there. I want to be in that world. Um, as a kid, you know, before I began to realize some of the plot issues I have with that book. But as a kid, which if you think about it, The Hobbit kind of is written more, I think, more for kids. Kind of makes sense.
What do you want?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you do, Puppy? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want, sir? Almost done? Bad time.
You think 5 minutes or so? Almost done.
Question. Jag vill till question. År sedan.
I was doing that shit again. It was stuttering on that. The music. Did the music stutter for you, or did you pause it and let it up or anything?
No, I heard it stutter.
Well, that's one thing. At least it's not just me. So I've changed this a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Okay.
Well, the snake thing makes much more sense now, and you can see the other hand. So you can. This one is not
Yeah.
actually going out of the panel, and you can see both hands, which I like better, and you can see that coiling.
Yeah.
Most of the rest of the structure so far is pretty much the same, but I guess the point is that, you don't have to be married to a layout. You can tweak it.
I would hope so.
Again, I'm not trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell people that are learning the hard way, right?
Yep. That makes sense.
You're here with me. You've seen me make changes before. I don't know how many people are going to see this, or if they've seen me make changes, or if they, register that. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of time tonight left.
Well, not when it's 11:59 or 10:59. If it was 11:59, that'd be worse.
Yeah, no, it would never be 11:59. Eli would never let it get there.
Digital Tantrum said it's only 8 p.m.
Where are you at, Digital Tantrum? Oh yeah, California, right?
Yeah, we're bankers hours. Let me go to the bank that stays open until 8 p.m.
Or 6. No banks that stay open till 6 p.m.
Oh, he's got the jokes.
What's that?
He said he has jokes.
He has jokes?
That's what he says.
Are they good jokes?
I don't know. He only said that he has jokes.
Right, because, that's not a qualification, by the way.
He said no. Hey, Rich, you're going to end up spending the entire night finishing this drawing.
Where you are?
Nope, no, I'm not. He's right in
Okay.
here, behind my back,
I
telling
just
me.
know how you are.
What's that?
Got time to no one.
Nope, Eli is like literally right hovering over my shoulder.
Yeah. It's because he knows, too.
And this is not going to be a finished drawing at all. Like, I'm glad I got that to the point that I got it, but like I've still got to have room for two other things in this panel. I just wanted to get him laid out because he's the most complicated part of this panel, which I'm actually pretty happy with.
Good.
And you notice I'm laying in the shades pretty quickly. I'm laying in the shades and shadows pretty quickly, so I'm not trying to perfect all the lines and all that.
No, no again.
I actually think I did pretty well this time, as in not, committing to something that's going to be an hour and a half after.
Well, no.
No, this is it pretty much for the time being. For the night, which is the time being.
Right.
I've got enough to see what's going on. Just erasing the super stray lines. I want to leave some of them organically as well because they're going to help me later on when I'm doing some texture and scrolling or whatever. Our hero. Guess I can't focus much more. Let's see if I can get this up a little bit. All right, that's that time. 4 minutes past. But that's not too bad for me. And I got a huge panel done. Touched up a little bit of the top panel and got a third of this one done. Actually, half of it done. That's not too bad.
Nope. Funny you just got here. Well,
Get here earlier. We started at 8 hour time.
yeah. Well, 8:15.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Digital Tantrum.
Yeah.
And as usual, thanks for anyone that watched, liked, subscribed, followed. Good night. Much love. God bless.
More.